The fuck? All I did was take these Xanax. Why is everything white?
Racist. Anyways, welcome to the void of emptiness that was your universe. Population, you.
What? Where's Susan? Or Lily?
Gone. Your friends, family, your entire world is gone because your universe was imbalanced.
Oh, well, I can just snap back with my powers. What?
Did you seriously think you could do that with reality manipulation? Your level of manipulation is like having access to one skill point in a game. I, on the other hand, can manipulate everything.
But why did you kill her? She was all I had left associated with David.
Because she too was imbalanced, just like everyone else in your world. Characters with OP abilities and little threat, unexplained powers and developments, unneeded power-ups, and even the story was a mess. So after hearing about this from the others, we're assigned to take action and get rid of it. And if you think our judgment/critique of your universe is wrong, speak up and state why. Exactly. Fact is, those were problems with your universe, so I did the easiest thing and removed the problem at the source.
All those struggles, the loss, was for nothing?
Yes, but I kept you alive because you and everything else related to your original host were the worst of that universe, and partially the source of my issues with it. Unexplained powers, plot holes galore, no threats due to your OP abilities, and I don't want you to suffer for those mistakes. Suffer for the fact that you are the sole survivor of a ruined universe. Forever.
Yeah, no, I already dealt with that crap months ago with David's death and my lady being turned into a monster. I will not surrender. Let me be the one to fix the mistakes of my universe. Give me that chance to fight.
Would you give up your lantern abilities? Or all the lantern rings?
Yes, I would.
Alright, I'm somewhat intrigued by this. Tell you what, I have a catalogue of videos from this universe, and you were a commentator. Entertain me with points/humor, and I will give you a chance to fix those mistakes of your world. Fail, and you will be erased. And to make things even more interesting, you will be destroyed by a former creation of the man you assimilated.
Appeasing a creature that can destroy a universe? This will be tough. But I will not stand down. I accept.
Very well. Hit me with your best shot, Damon.
Hey guys, is it okay if I delay the next 3 Houses streams to make another Spider-Man video? Yeah, Marcus, I love Spider-Man!
Clearly the rest of your fans don't, if these views lost dislikes or anything to go by. Speaking of boy, though...
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can.
I think he cleared out a whole theater with that. I don't think we've seen that since... well...
No, Mom! I'm busy! I can't take the trash out!
If I were you, I'd phone up the war department, volunteer your services, because you've just invented a new form of torture.
That still leaves 2 other Spider-Man titles with the same name. And because you said that the animated series isn't plastered on the title, that would mean that the 1994 rendition would only be known to masses as Spider-Man and not Spider-Man, the animated series. Thus, still having to say the name of the year that it came out, especially since all of them are animated series. You'd still have to specify which one it would be no matter what, because you just end up being in this type of conversation.
Okay, then let's specify them right now. We'll call the 1967 one the Steve Ditko series because it uses the Ditko art style, and the 1981 series the John Romita Sr. because it uses Romita's style.
Great, you can specify them. That still doesn't fix the problem that we have multiple Spider-Man series just called Spider-Man. If anything, it strengthens Dolls and Marvel's points about this being confusing for people. Because the people making these shows were drinking too much of Spider-Man's web fluid to realize that they were using the same title for all these series. Also, this doesn't disprove Marvy's points, so this just serves to waste time. Fantastic.
Meant for fun. I mean, if there is a moral somewhere and the child can get something useful out of it, that's a side benefit, but that's not really the point here, now is it?
Mavi, this is Marvel we're talking about, not DC. Marvel always has to have a moral lesson within their story.
Yeah, like Ultimates 3, where the moral is don't have sex with your siblings. Or Sinister 6, where the moral is even bad guys have friends. Or Hero for Hire, where if someone owes you money, you can break into their home and demand the money back. Wait. In all seriousness, has to have a moral lesson to their stories. The fuck do you think Marvel Comics is? Preschool television? Oh god, did I find an upcoming show plan for Disney Plus? Screw it. Next video. Great. Another response to the nostalgia critic by Misanthropy. You think this guy has a poster of Doug to throw outside? Or Hatefuck too? Either way, let's just go through the highlights.
Well, let's start by bringing up a little Easter egg. At some point in time, Doug got the brilliant idea to nickname Sailor Moon Jailbait the Show. At a convention. In front of hundreds of people.
And of course, he does not provide evidence of Doug saying this. Also, this video came out 2 months after the Easter map. The eggs are rotten now. But here's the clincher. This bit where he criticizes Doug for calling this show Jailbait the Show? Yeah, about that.
Not to mention, it's directed by the people, the same guy who directed Sailor Moon. And it's all about giant robots, and the guy is called...
Jailbait the show?
No.
It was a fucking joke. So it's nice to see that even in 2019, Map is still taking jokes seriously. And if you want to argue that it's in poor taste / not funny, that is subjective, and it doesn't really debunk anything or add anything to the video itself. Speaking of evidence though...
Like an over-the-top accent with a human attached to it.
Actually, if you look into it, Molly's heavily Brooklyn accent is a reference to her Japanese actress also having a heavy accent.
Your footage agrees with you, right? Or is it hidden with invisible ink? So what was the point of bringing this up exactly? If it is meant to be a sign that Doug should have done more research and has said this to his audience, then that doesn't really work. Since as your own footage showcases, it may not even be a reference but rather odd casting, or something like that, so Doug would be potentially spreading this information if that wasn't meant to be a reference. And if it's meant to be a defense of this character's tone, then I would like to point out that just because there's a reason, it doesn't mean someone else to like it, and with Doug, he seems to view it as over the top. So it's either potential misinformation, or it doesn't even debunk Doug's statement. It's not even really a critique, just a statement about this character's voice. J.
I swear, officer! I mean audience!
Did he really just say that?
No. What the fuck do you think, Map? Fucking hell. I say yay, Map is taking a dark jokes Doug's made seriously again. Because that has not gotten old. God, screw it. Screw it. Yeah, I'd be terrified of this watermark too as well, young girl. Okay. Why? Or is that too hard to say in comparison to the process of making this child cry over her mother dying? Actually, I'll go further. Which stimulants? Prescriptions like Adderall and Ritalin? Cocaine and meth? If you're going to do an anti-stimulant campaign, it'd probably have to state what it is to warn people about. Hell, that needle could have anything in it, so you can't even argue it's obviously cocaine. You fucked up. So the moral of the story is, don't take stimulants because it will make children cry. Also, how much you want to bet the parent took said stimulant because they were working a very stressful job or a 100-hour work week because Japan's workaholic culture and needed somewhere to relax. Just food for thought. Anyways, fuck this PSI and let's just get into a bit of an intermission or something quick to digest before we're moving into another serious vid.
You crushed someone?
Bitch. I'm exhausted, man. There's only so many places I can go. What is this dude's problem?
Well, for one, he's a little two-dimensional at the moment, and second, because we wouldn't have a plot if he wasn't here.
Oh, they're actually filming Halloween. That's so cool. You!
Hello, Rob.
I know you, despite the fact that we wouldn't meet for the first time until 40 years after this scene, and never thought Terminator was bad with timelines. Speaking of...
He didn't like The Exorcist that came out a few years ago!
How did they know that? Screw it. I blame it on crossing our man and his unaging face.
You drank the fucking bottle, didn't you?
Shut up, I make good decisions.
Oh, so my former host did a video on this guy, and now I get to do a video on Blow's move on. Well, this'll end well.
Oh my god, the fictional universe traveling machine has become dust.
Wait, that happened in the last Insider movie? Well, shit, so I knew I should have saved for the post-credits scene of that.
Time to take a piss. It's for the better anyway. It was evil. It used to be a machine you can use to go to another fictional universe, but it wasn't anymore. Now it's just used for fictional characters to mess with you.
Yes, because effectively teleporters can somehow gain enough intelligence to turn evil and drastically alter its own programming to do a thing it wasn't meant to initially do anyways. That's how programming works, right? Also, characters messing with you? When? Ah shit, did I miss a movie in the Bly Cinematic Universe that showcases this? I blame this on Sony taking back the rights to Floater Man.
Still do. Don't worry about it. Me and the rest of your Pokemon will protect you from them as much as we can. Thank you. And if you want to go inside the movie, I can help you out. I have the power to teleport you anywhere you want.
Why make this all fun now and not back then? You could have saved your train of the hassle of dealing with the machine. Especially when you can somehow travel through dimensions despite the fact Hellfox can't learn teleport, nor mention distorting dimensions in his text entries. Hell, Blaze himself can clearly teleport/distort dimensions if these jumps are anything to go by. Couldn't he just do it himself? Anyways, he talks about saving Tony from Avengers Endgame, so let's just skip a bit ahead to where he ends up in Aladdin. Because, reasons, I guess.
Oh, disturbs my slumber. I'm Kasim. Hold on a minute. How about I try to enter? Yes, you are worthy as fuck.
See, Blaze, your Mario pissing video pieced even the Cave of Wonders, so there's no reason to disown it.
Come in. Only touch the lamp. Oh, and Jafar, you're not getting the lamp. Deal with it. Why, you miserable little fuck. Do you know who you're messing with? Huh? Do you? You will regret it.
Spoiler alert, Jafar does not appear in the rest of this video, nor is the lamp used in any big way after this scene outside of doing what Captain America was going to do with the stones, which also means Blaze prevents Cars from spending a happy life with Peggy Carter. Smooth. So yeah, that was absolutely necessary, right? But was this meant to be foreshadowing for an Inside the Movie Aladdin video?
I'm inevitable. What the fuck? Nothing happened.
Well, no shit. You were supposed to snap your fingers, not clack/click your tongue.
Oh my fucking god, are you okay, honey? You look dead.
Don't worry, ma'am. He won't be for long. Go, Clefable. Clefable, heal Tony Stark.
I love how nobody who was in the original scene comments that there's a fucking Pokemon here. Not even Peter, who's usually quick to make a reference to a piece of media if it's there. Also, how is Clefable going to heal Tony exactly? The closest thing it has to healing is when it's bred with a non-useless remedies to get healables. Or is its method of healing something the equivalent to slapping the fuck out of Tony with pounds? What the... Hang on, I think I hear something.
Let me show you how it's done. Oh, Tony! Spider-Man being taken by Sony!
I'm back, bitches!
That's how you heal someone weird like me.
Well, that's it for that video, so, let's move on to another round.
Can you make an OC for me?
Fuck you! Get out of my class.
Oh dear, I have a Pokemon countdown in which the YouTuber does not elaborate, but no one to cover it with. Whatever should I do?
Give it to me! I'll raise it and nurture it and give it the attention none of you seem to be giving it. Fucking terrible parents, all of you.
Weren't you the same person who killed a lot of people in Killland? Just saying, I find it rich that you got on them for being bad parents, when the one who wants to raise the countdown is guilty of doing worse things than neglect.
My leg!
You look fine to me if you're able to run from one side of the screen to the other.
Is your foot bleeding already? How did that happen?
Because you shot it!
Are you now going to taunt him by calling him an ambulance? You monster!
Hey, don't give him the sarcasm shit. Ambulances can be very, very threatening. I mean, you're still talking, so you can't be dead yet. Though your feet may be in the future if you keep walking barefoot. Seriously, my Honda associate, invest in some shoes. Maybe buy some more Maleficent. She needs somewhere to make back the money that sequel lost in the box office. Okay, enough jokes, that's the points. Let's move on to a more serious commentary / round.
You're moving from Russell Hanson to Brandon Hans territory here.
I'll come over there and knock your head off.
So now we get to tackle a quote-unquote popular Donald drama parody. Well, that didn't stop me before, so let's roast this clown by starting with the scene that takes place after a Venusaur gets roasted for crashing into a fireworks shed in a challenge.
Guys, I apologize greatly for the actions of Venusaur. I assure you that will not happen again. Bisharp, not to change the subject, but what about the challenge? Yeah, that explosion burned our flag to ashes. Ours too. What does that mean? I am too angry to worry about who wins.
You can just tell by my tone that I'm angry, despite the fact that I was calm in an earlier scene.
So you know what? Neither team wins. Both teams will go to elimination and will vote someone out. Tonight. What? What the hell? That's not fair. Venusaur's the one who screwed up. Why are we getting punished? Hey! Don't cross me right now. I will send 10 of you guys home right now if I want to. I am not in the mood to negotiate anything.
I can easily send home the person who started fucking fireworks, which partially resulted in this explosion, but who needs good writing when you got voices that nearly sound the fucking same? Also, got to love how... Wait, how long is this challenge? About 34 minutes? Okay. 34 minutes of this episode, 1/3 of the viewer's time, was basically wasted with saying no one wins. You could have just cut out most of this challenge and saved the viewers a ton of time. Especially since they lost because of someone not even associated with the fucking challenge. So yes, I will harp on the length again. Who spends 34 minutes on a damn challenge? Even for a YouTube video, which doesn't have a time limit for most channels, this is super dumb and terrible pacing. And finally, oh no, not 10 characters from the cast. I'm so worried about the potential of some of them going home. They had such memorable characteristics as the villain, the girl, the British guy, the Gary Stew, and the people who thought Shao Tucker did nothing wrong.
Yeah, no.
Someone please come now.
Do videos when someone respond to Nostalgia Critic? Man, 2019 just seems to be a bad year for these kind of comms.
Which one had the super bad toupee here? This is stupid. Y'all, this is what we're doing all night because y'all this is really stink.
Let me guess. She sounds like that throughout the entire movie?
Drop kick your ass. Purple dogs that keeps pumping this big old. Come on, get real. Let's go shake our ass on the dance floor.
And, who wrote this film again? You know, white people. Can we just not white people today? It's exhausting sometimes. I need a break from us.
I mean, I think it's entertaining. I'm not saying it's not a stereotype because you can argue Kia kind of is, but she's more entertaining compared to Smokey McGee and Virgin Mary over here. I like to argue that even if the characters are stereotypes, it's still pretty standard for most 80s horror, which I would assume is what they're getting at.
Oh boy, everyone! We got a buffet of counterpoints on our hands with this one. First off, we got the classic subjectivity in a commentary, which doesn't debunk/refute Doug's issue with this character and only exists to pad the runtime. Our second helping gives us icy agreeing, even if it's somewhat agreeing, with Doug, which also doesn't debunk/add anything to the video. And our third and final helping is assuming the director's intent about something because you don't know for sure that was their intent or not. Also, for the after dinner mint, I'll provide the classic defense, just in case that was their intent, or just because there's a reason for something, doesn't mean the person has to like it, and clearly Doug isn't a fan of the way this character speaks. And that concludes my contamila points. Bon appetit. Wait, what happens?
Well, I will be soon enough.
Did you just randomly cult one of Doug's interjections/jokes? But why though? That's a question. Why not skip it if you aren't going to cover it then? Ah great, now I have to clean up the goo calls by your shitty editing there. JJ. Jolly fucking J.
Insert early 2000 blurry cam filmmakers thought would be cool. Whoa, how come I can't focus on anything? Avant-garde! As everyone partakes in a cornfield rave. Thing?
Man, this party's awesome! I especially love the crucifying kids over there.
Hello, I say. You gonna say something, or you fapping to Jason and Freddy again?
I got nothing to say. This is awesome.
Oh, there you are. Took you long enough, and all you had to say was a fucking emoji. I think I'm starting to see why this is 30 minutes. This suffers the same issue as the last video. Shitty pacing. Joyous. Since the rest of this video has similar issues as I previously stated in this round, or I had nothing new to add, I will end this video here as well as conclude this multi-round gauntlet of commentaries.
Very well. This has certainly been an interesting session, Mr. Grimm, and I have reached my decision. I was not entertained enough to spare you. But you had one thing your universe lacked in this final attempt. Like I said though, it is time for you to be erased alongside your world, and to handle it, it'll be one of your former dark side's fetish creations.
And of course it is a god of war. Yet another reason why XYZ deserved to die.
Well, since you assimilated him, it is technically your creation, so it is fitting for creation to kill its creator. Any last words, Damon?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you to whoever created this universe and me. Thank you to those who enjoyed my content / artists for all this time. Thank you to David and Susan for accepting me and putting up with me despite initially being David's dark side. And thank you, mysterious creature, for giving me this chance to try and save / fix my world. Yeah, it was flawed. It was poorly written and balanced. You are right. But despite all those flaws, I'm glad I was given this chance to exist, even if it wasn't for long. As for you, Jackie the God of War, because I know that's your name, I am so sorry that my former dark side created you for his fucked up story. You and all his creations deserve to be treated better, and him as well as I by extension let you down. And I'm sorry. Well, at least I'll hopefully get to see Susan and David again, wherever that is.
Very well. Farewell, Damon Grimm. That was what your universe missed the most. A good conflict and struggle for you to deal with. Alright, let's check on the next universe, Jackie. Oh, right. Your creator is dead, so that means you also finally get to die. Wait. That doesn't make sense. Screw it. At least that problem has been dealt with, and another chance for a better written and balanced world can now begin.